Hi everyone, this is Tish Aitken and I'm here to discuss the eclipses. We have already had the initial eclipse on July 12th, 2018 at 20 degrees of Cancer, and that marked the beginning of the eclipses in the Cancer-Capricorn axis, and things have been very intense. I've heard about a lot of beginnings and endings and all sorts of stories, as I'm sure many of you have as well. And on the world stage, things are certainly heated. And we experienced the second pairing of the Mars South Node conjunction on July 20th, 2018. And that again is this energy that we're all dealing with, which is basically inducing each of us to figure out what do we want to let go in our lives, what do we want to confront that we need to up level, what is bringing us down, what are the negative things that are blocking us and we need to release and take action. And because so many planets are retrograde and have been retrograde this summer, we're now getting into Mercury Retrograde, and that's going to retrograde on July 26th of this week, obviously, at 23 degrees of Leo. And now we have two personal planets retrograde. We have Mars, how we take action, how we get things done, how we deal with our anger, and how we deal with our passion. That's retrograde. And now Mercury, which rules communication and how we express ourselves, is going to be retrograde as of July 26th. So that too is another planet forcing all of us to take a step back and reflect and think about things. And we have a total lunar eclipse this week on July 27th, and that is the biggest eclipse of these three eclipses this summer, and probably one of the more significant lunar eclipses for time to come, because it's going to last for an hour and 20 minutes. It's going to be a long eclipse. It's occurring at 4 degrees and 44 minutes of Aquarius. So it's in the sign that the South Node is in right now, and it's the last eclipse in Aquarius until 2026. So we're not going to have eclipses in Aquarius anymore for a while. And Aquarius is about being unique and being independent, but it's also very rebellious and it's very unpredictable. Uranus rules the planet of Aquarius, and Uranus deals with upheaval and chaos, and you can always expect the unexpected, which is also the tone of eclipses. You know a lot of action's going to happen, you know a lot of things and events are going to take place, but you don't know exactly how they'll express themselves. You know that there's an issue and a theme of letting things go, because South Node eclipses are about release, about letting things go. The lunar eclipse in itself is about completion and release and letting things go. And it's going to be a very heated eclipse because Mars is going to be conjunct the moon in Aquarius, and it's going to be conjunct the South Node. And Mars can impel people to act very quickly and without thinking and irrationally at times. So you yourself want to take this as advice to slow down in your own life and try to be reflective when you can be. It's not always easy, and that's not gonna, it's not realistic to think it is, but as much as you can, find ways to get, rid of the anger or the energy or the built up energy in ways that are constructive, and try to lay low this week. If there are things that come up that could be heated up discussions or arguments, unless it's something that really needs to get out, and again, it's something that's very toxic and needs addressing, I would try to, bring it down a few levels if you can, or step away from it and return to the discussion or to the situation in a future date. And Mars is going to oppose the Sun at 1:13 a.m. on Friday the 27th. And again, that's very combative energy, it's very competitive energy. And the eclipse itself is going to occur at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time on July 27th. It's going to be right on the nodes of fate, and this is The nodes of fate are at 5 degrees of Aquarius and Leo, and those are the nodes of fate that the U.S. chart has. So probably some central themes with the country in the next few weeks, and again, just being aware of people feeling very, very heated up and irrational at times, but trying to find ways to be effective with the anger you feel or the passion you feel and what you want to release, trying to initiate new habits in your life. The nodes of fate are going to be very close to the sun and the moon. The sun is at 4 degrees and 44 minutes of Leo, and it's conjunct the north node of fate. Go towards the north node. You're going to be feeling very pulled towards the south node and Mars and the moon, and feeling very emotional and combative, and that probably will be something that draws you forward, yet also go towards the north node in Leo, which is the heart path and what you love, and try to come from a place of love and recognize that everybody is dealing with this really difficult energy, and it's going to pass, but it might be bringing things to light that need to be addressed, that need to be brought up, and that things are going to be, while many planets are retrograde, and it's a very reflective tone to the summer, and it does slow things down, and when Mercury retrogrades, often there's miscommunication, there are delays in transportation, in getting things done, there can be glitches with electronics, all of that. So having patience and realizing on one level things are slowing down, and yet this eclipse has a T-square, a fixed T-square, because the sun is opposite Mars. The moon is conjunct Mars. They all form a square to Uranus, the planet of chaos and upheaval. But Uranus is also the planet of genius and the planet that rules the sign of Aquarius. And you want to tap into innovating a new future. Uranus just entered the sign of Taurus on May 15th of this year. And although it's not the easiest placement of Uranus, Uranus is about breaking free from things, and Taurus is very much a fixed earth sign that likes to hold on to things, but it's about innovating your talents and your skills and how you make money and get things done, because Venus rules the sign of Taurus. And I know a 91-year-old Taurus who's dissembling his warehouse that has about probably 60 plus years of collecting, and he himself is letting go of his possessions and confronting that this summer. And I think for many of us, we're dealing with things that maybe we're rethinking what's of value to us and what we want to release. And the eclipse itself falls in the 2nd and 8th houses, which deal with possessions and what's of value and joint resources. And the other thing that struck me a few weeks ago, I went to the David Bowie exhibit, and he was a Capricorn, but he also very much had an Aquarius energy to him because he had Aquarius rising. And some of the themes of the exhibit were, Bowie was always moving on. That was one of the things they had written up, and then his music and artwork connected with that. Bowie was always being inspired in the moment. And I think that for each of us, again, with Uranus and Taurus, finding new ways to innovate using our skills, but also move on, let go, keep creating a new future. And Bowie is teaching us that things are always changing, and that's true. So I wish you the best of luck. This is going to be a really intense week, an intense month ahead, but you have tools to work with this. Use the tools that help you to relax and be effective in your time, but take time to relax, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.